for now. You're
the
right.
next few days.
Yep.
I
But it's
saw
go ahead.
I saw a buyout, like some kind of a federal
Yeah.
employee
Yeah.
buyout or something like that.
Yeah, proposal to buyout. You take the option,
I wonder how that works.
and they're giving them so many months severance pay or something like that.
And yet he's
Okay, gentlemen, we're
reinstated.
on live stream.
Okay, there we go.
Here we go.
Record to computer, right?
Okay, we're good to go. Joey?
Okay, hold on. I'm
Okay.
checking on the record. Okay.
Mr. Chair, Andy will be the producer for the meeting today. So Andy's,
Okay.
we got Andy running the show.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so we're recording. Recording is
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Okay, we're good to go. Okay, buenas everyone. In compliance with Public Law 24-109, Guam Ancestral Lands Commission published the public meeting announcement for Thursday, January 30th, 2025. The Guam Daily Post on Thursday, January 23rd, 2025, and Tuesday, January 28th, 2025, and posted in the Government of Guam Public Notice Portal and the GALC website. So it's January 30th, 2025. It's now 2:05 p.m. This meeting is called to order. Can we get a roll call?
Yes, sir. Chairman Ronald Eclavea,
Present.
Vice Chairman Ronald Laguana,
Estiga.
Secretary Treasurer Anita Orlino.
Here.
Commissioner Angela Camacho,
Here.
Commissioner Maria Cruz,
Here.
Commissioner Westling.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have full attendance. You have a quorum.
Did you use mouse cap? Okay. We're gonna move down to hang on. 1 second. So we're gonna move down to item 3, approval of minutes. A, regular meeting, July 31st, 2024. And special meeting October 30, 2024. Is this correct? Yeah.
Yes, sir. In progress.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Camacho?
because I'm not sure if everybody else received this earlier, but because we really didn't get a chance to review the meeting minutes, is it possible to table it for the next meeting?
I don't see anything wrong with that.
It's a suggestion.
Everybody okay with that? To table the minutes, the approval of the minutes for both meetings? Okay. Kathy, we're gonna move for the next meeting to approve those dates for those meetings.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Let's move down now to item number 4. Acting Executive Director's Report. Kat?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Buenas and Hafide. Before I start my report, I'd just like to mention that our attorney, Lee Miller, will have to leave the meeting by 4 o'clock today.
Noted.
Okay, let me start. I'd like to start with the GALC FY25 budget. Due to the 50% amount of AT&T proceeds not being identified in the FY25 budget law, GALC is once again short for the fiscal year. This is what happened last fiscal year, which resulted in the release of one of our employees. On October 1st, 2024, while the legislature was working on amending the FY25 budget law, we sent a letter to Senator San Augustine requesting for an amendment, but nothing transpired. I would like to request the board to authorize me to pursue this with our new oversight chairman, Senator Ada. Lot 10190-R1 South Finigazan. The office was visited by a uniformed individual inquiring on the ownership of property west of the former South Finigazan housing. He was concerned of the security of the area and the safety of those working at that location. He stated that he heard gunshots nearby. He informed GPD and their response was that those were hunters and were given permission from the landowners, the Umpinko Pangilinan family. The area he pointed out on the Google map is actually under GALC. No permission from the board or staff has ever been granted to anyone to enter the property and to hunt. Please note the former South Finigazan housing property has been identified as MCB-CB South is being looked at as part of the Enhanced Integrated Air and Missile Defense System on Guam. We believe that this property may affect the future use of lot 10190-R1. Moving down to lot 192 and 192-1 in PD, our office received a request to access the property for hiking and examining remains of the historic structures on the site from a Dr. William Weir. Excess land status. I would like to refer to Gita, who are members of this committee, to provide us with the status and updates. Our media campaign, moving down to media campaign. The staff is working on updating the list and conducting the research of properties pending ostensible owners. As soon as this is done, we'll have the board review and approve the list prior to advertising. Finally, land title application. I'm pleased to announce that we are in the final stages of processing 3 land title applications. As soon as this is completed, we will inform the board and set up the meeting and title hearings. Jesus Moasi for the opportunity to present this update.
Just Matsi, Kathy. Do we have any questions for the director? the acting
Yes,
director.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Okay, Vice Chair?
Yeah, shouldn't we address those matters? Because some of those are quite important. Let's sit down. I heard one with the illegal entry, I guess, for hunters. Matter one at a time. Let's go down one at a time, right? Shouldn't we address them? Or yeah, we should address those. Those are the other ones with Mr. Weir again, requesting for access.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Hi, Commissioner Westling here. Yeah, I agree
Commissioner
with
Westling?
Commissioner Laguarnia that we do address these matters here before we move on to the next item on the agenda. And so, Kathy, you're asking for permission to pursue the budget amendment with the new oversight chairman, Senator Ada.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't see any reason
Yeah.
why not to do that, so I would agree with that request.
I agree as well. Let's move forward on that one.
Okay,
Question first, if you don't mind.
no, of course not.
Can we just check with legal counsel? Should we be addressing items on the report, on the acting director's report? Does it have to be an item on the agenda published?
Mr. Chairman, members, the question is an excellent question. In terms of to take formal action, the commission has to note that the item in particular will be discussed and that possible action will be taken. You know, if it's in fact necessary for the executive director to receive, you know, the formal permission of the commission in order to engage in conversations with members of the legislature, then we'll have to put that topic off for another day. On the other hand, if you know, folks are comfortable that you know, it's prudent and appropriate and frankly within her job description to engage in those conversations, you know, then now would be an opportunity to offer her whatever thoughts you might have on the topic, but we won't be, you know, we can't, you know, sort of formally direct her to do X or Y or Z without X or Y or Z be officially noted on an agenda.
Mr. Chair.
So, okay, real quick, so legal counsel, we need to have a meeting on the agenda to basically go ahead and approve her request to engage with the senator, San Augustine, on this matter.
Again,
So what
Mr. Chairman, members, it's, you know, it's up to you all how you want to you know, manage the relationship with your executive director. If you're comfortable that, you know, she's just letting you know that she's going to talk to the senator and that she will report back, then no, we don't need a vote. But if she wants, if you don't want her talking to members of the legislature without your express permission, then yes, we will need an agenda item and a vote.
Okay, understood. Vice Chair?
I think this is just an administrative matter, and it's a continuing effort from the past legislature, which I believe we can allow her to do that unless there are any particular changes that the new committee chair wishes to address, and then she will report back to us. But if this is just a continuing matter as an administrative matter, I don't think it will require any of us to put this on the agenda, because it was already a line item in past agenda to adhere to the matter. That's how I see this.
Correct. So then it just means that she's reporting to the board that this is what she's doing.
Correct.
And because it sounds like none of us have an issue with that, being that it's not a new matter, then I think she just proceeds with that responsibility unless anybody's not comfortable with it. But I don't believe that we should vote on anything here.
Okay, I agree. Short, giving you a a vote of approval. We're just gonna acknowledge that we're okay with you,
Reporting.
but yeah, approaching the senator. It's just a continuation, so we're good with it.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay,
Next.
so then, Mr. Westling, I know that you were continuing with, so that was the
Okay.
first item, and then
Yep.
and then the
That-
next one on her address.
Yep, no, that addressed the first item. Thank you, Attorney Miller. So I guess the matter regarding the illegal hunting, we're not calling for any type of vote on anything, but this certainly, I think, is a matter of concern to, I guess, confirm whether or not this is actually happening.
Hi there.
You know, that we should probably look
Yeah,
into it.
so with North, huh? You have to turn off your audio.
I think there's only so much we can do on this matter because apparently the Pincus gave them permission, and I guess they went off their well, the land is in dispute right now as far as the size of the property that they have. So we're in dispute with that. So I don't know. I think we just gotta wait until, I don't know how we can. I don't think we can address it in any way unless somebody has something to add to that. Okay, I guess we just stand by. What can we do? And I think there's many citizens that are, going into government land without our notice. Unless there's some issue that comes up, then it's brought to our attention. But this one, I don't think there's anything we can really do until it escalates or something. So let's move on from that. Let's go down to the, I think the media campaign is good. And we have a title hearing.
3 to be exact.
Okay, very good. And regarding the excess lands request that we put out for with you, Kathy, the hearing we had, the speaker addressed the legislation that it's in there that we're supposed to get some kind of annual report from the land management director. Can I get a copy of that particular section in our enabling legislation, just so that we can be fine-tuned in on that? Because she wants me to get the information from the land management director.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
So I guess we're good for a report. Can we move on?
No, there's some more matters.
Yeah. The media campaign and the land.
The access, the request by Mr. Weir to do archaeological study.
Is he here?
I think,
No, sir.
do we have to push it off to the next meeting's agenda? Because it's an agenda item.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we should put that, Mr. Chair, that one also with the private, with the hunting incident. I think we need to address that because, I think the Pincos, we need to get further information on that because they're probably thinking it's their property, and which is not. And could be liable if there's anything happening in there. If there are no signs posted for no hunting on private property, we are liable. So we need to address that and put that in an item on the agenda for next meeting.
Yes, sir.
Agree. And Kat, I think as opposed to it being on the director's report, I think that should have been addressed to the board, whether we should actually put that on the agenda. So
Okay.
normally when we get requests like that, we get requests to put it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
As new business.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
May I just make a comment, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Yeah. So I think what Commissioner Laguarnia Vice Chair Laguarnia brought up is a really good point. And I don't think that it requires board action, but signs that no trespassing signs, I think, need to be placed on the property. I think that's just an administrative activity. But that's a really good suggestion.
And
Very good.
may I add on, we need to get further information on that, if you don't mind, Kathy. Because,
Yes, sir.
the Impincos are just acting, and they're saying they're giving permission. But maybe they're not understanding the relationship they have between us and them with regards to the area. Sometimes, in generality, they say, oh, that's our property too, and it's not. So we need to get further detail on those with the points of the land,
Yes, sir.
Well,
make sure it's
that brings
accurate.
up another matter. If the property is in dispute and we believe it's ours, but they
Right.
think it's theirs, so we still just go ahead and put up no trespassing
Well-
signs?
Well,
And right now it's in dispute.
get
Maybe
that
Joey can
information.
do the research. I think Joey should do
sorry?
the research on Joey Leon Guerrero, if you could do the research on title. If it's still in Guam Ancestral Lands Commission, then it is our responsibility to inform the public that this is government property and that we are not allowing any trespassing, because then that's a liability to us if
Well, Let me help to clarify the history of this. We've actually went through this property many times in the past, and just to update the board, they're disputing. We gave back a lot, which is a piece of property that is there, and apparently they've when they surveyed, they took out a huge chunk out of the property, and Joey is saying to us that it's not accurate, and so we went against the survey. They did turn in a map to land management, and we disputed that, and that's where we're at right now.
Mhm.
So whether they own the whole lot, that's questionable. So they're claiming they own practically almost all of that property. So the description of the property is what's in question, and how they got the boundaries of that property. Yeah, so that's where we're at right now.
Perhaps we can do a thing quick on it if Joey can provide the map. And also, what has been done at land management? Was that survey recorded? Who
No, it wasn't. That's why we disputed it, and
yeah.
so it has to either they got to take it to court and prove their claim, or because right now it's idle. We're telling them it's not, and there's a disparity that we have with what they're saying, how they got the description of the size of the property and how we have it. We're saying no, it's not. So you're Joey, can we go ahead and get the latest information to the board members that are not familiar? Because we are idle in it, and it's good that Commissioner Camacho brought this to light, because we've just been idle with this. So at least you guys can get the property map and the history of what's going on. So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Andy, I know where's Andy. He's the producer. So okay,
Andy.
so we're good to go with that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yes, sir. So I'll go ahead. We'll put it on the agenda for our next meeting, and I'll do a presentation to the board.
Yes, very good.
Okay, so I'll prepare that for the next meeting.
Very good, Joey. Very good. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Okay. What else is there on the
Wait, I have Mr. Shevin.
Vice Chair?
Okay, I have regarding with Kathy with regards to Mr. Weir. Did you get a written? Did you get a formal letter of request for that matter?
Yes, sir. I actually received an email from him, and I told him that we will invite him as soon as we put this item on our agenda.
Okay.
We will invite him to the meeting, but I brought it up to your attention because the request did come in, and we already have our agenda set for this meeting. So I brought it
Okay.
up to the board's attention so that we can put it onto our next meeting agenda.
Okay, very well.
May I make a request?
Okay.
Can we also see maps when we discuss this property, just so we have an idea of location?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, with pictures too.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Typically in these type of item agendas, there is a map, but we just want to make sure again that at least we have the maps and some pictures would be great.
But
Yes,
I
sir.
agree, the property map and maybe a satellite or something of that sort, identifying so that we can have a general idea of what we're discussing.
Yes, ma'am.
And with regard to the next point with that particular piece of property at Finagayan, maybe we can put on the agenda to Kat regarding that project proposal, or what is it? It's a I guess it's an interest in that area for some missile defense. I think we could bring
Yes.
put that on the next item. I mean, on the
Yes,
next
sir.
agenda. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question on that one. That Kathy, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
sir.
So
Go ahead.
that South Finagajan property is still under military control. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I've attended those the Missile Defense Agency hearings, and according to their report, is that they're going to be utilizing existing military properties.
Mhm.
So I guess that's included because they're not going to take any more other lands within their control. I was the interpreter for that for those hearings, so I have a complete thick 4-inch report on that.
So I'd like to ask Kat, in your director's report, basically you're just referencing the adjacent lots from the military that they're eyeing that area for that project, and it just so happens our that particular piece of property is adjacent to it. That's what you're
Yes, sir.
bringing to light right now. Oh, okay.
Yes,
I was
sir.
I was of the impression that they were actually eyeing that our GALC property there, but that's the
No,
way.
they were just concerned that when they were out doing a site inspection on their property, they heard gunshots in the area and they were concerned about the safety of their employees. And
Sure.
so they came in
Oh.
here and
Oh.
they wanted to let us know. Well, first they reported it to GPD, and then GPD told them that they can't do anything because they got permission to be on that property. So, and then the gentleman came into our office to bring it to our attention because he found out that the property wasn't entirely returned. So he came in and he sat down with Joey and Andy and he showed them exactly which property he was talking about. And Joey confirmed that that is ancestral lands property, that has not been returned.
Okay, very good. You cleared that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, board members, any other questions on her director's report? The access lands and the media campaign, I think we're good. And
Think
the last
so.
one would be the title applications. We got about 3. That's great. Okay, no further questions? Hopefully we can wrap up before our legal counsel leaves. He has to leave by 4, just a reminder.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see, hang on one second. Let's move down now to item number 5, GIDA progress report.
Okay, buenos and good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Can everybody hear me?
Buenas.
Buenos. Mr. Chairman, Veronica Vega, buenos to you and Vice Chair Ron Guania and all our commissioners, and also GALC Acting Director Kathy Bloss. With me today is Mr. Mike Cruz, our staff, and Mary Camacho, along with our tenants, AT&T representatives, AC Development, which is representing Northern Market, and Mr. Dan Swainfleet from AT&T. We're going to be discussing the deal business later after I present my GIDA progress report. Half a day, everybody. The following is a progress report on GIDA's efforts to manage land bank trust properties as required by Section 1 of the MOU between GIDA and GALC Land Bank Trust. First on the list is Weddingale Junction, that's Northern Market. Their monthly rent of $27,854.51, with their outstanding balance of $1,967,758.34, and that's for the date period from October 2017 to June 2024. Also with the outstanding balance of $127,127.06. Excuse me, sec here. There's something wrong with my. Hopefully you can. Hopefully, can, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, you're just a
Not
little
really.
bit
Okay.
low. Just a
Yeah,
little
very
low.
low.
Okay, here we go. How's this?
I think it's better.
Is this okay? All right, thank you. My apologies on that. Going back to Northern Market's outstanding balance of $167,127.06, and this covers from July 2024 to December 2024. And their outstanding balance of $2,162,739.91, and this covers from the date all the way up to present, January 2025. Their last payment was received on February 8, 2023. And the project updates were the second amendment to the lease agreement. The hard copy of the approved second lease amendment was signed and submitted by Northern Market on July 5th, 2024 to GALC management for signatures. However, the execution of the amendment was delayed due to the pending confirmation of the GALC Board Commission members. Northern Market is requesting for extension of 6 months to get clearances for its building permit commencing after execution of the second amendment to the lease agreement. This request was made via the letter on November 5th, 2024, which we sent on your attached letter here. Moving on down to Apple Harbor Parcel 1, Quick Space. Their monthly rent of $4,069.31 with an outstanding balance of $0. And their last payment received on January 10, 2025. Next one on the list is Matson Navigation Company with their monthly rent of $27,733 with a $0 outstanding balance, with their payment received January 16, 2025. TransSteel is the next one on the list with their monthly rent of $500 with their outstanding balance. We revised this. Their outstanding balance as of current January 2025 is $4,500. Just got word from the tenant that it would be making payment sometime this week. Their last payment received on December 13, 2024. The Tengisan Landing Station, which is AT&T lot 10192, with their monthly rent of $22,939.42, with their outstanding balance of $0. Their last payment received on January 3rd, 2025. We also have a draft month-to-month lease agreement and the extension of term of lease updates. Bill 327-37 from the 37 Guam Legislature on October 8, 2024, with the approved extension of lease for additional 5 years. And then it was a veto letter from the governor, October 18, 2024, on Bill 327. And the reason being that it does not allow market value appraisal for another 15 years. They requested that they negotiate a lease between GALC and AT&T that reflects the current market value of the property. On October 30, 2024, the GALC special meeting, the decision was made between GALC and AT&T to negotiate a month-to-month lease agreement based on the rental payment of $408,000 per year, pending the appraisal and the fair market value valuation. A draft month-to-month lease agreement has been prepared and is ready for review and action to be taken by the GALC Board Commission. Lot Apple Harbor Reservation, Polaris Point, Smithbridge, Guam. Their monthly rent of $8,800 with an outstanding balance of $0. Their last payment received on January 6, 2025. I also want to update the commission. The Smithbridge plans to develop a concrete plant, a warehouse for their cement storage and parking, their storage for their heavy equipment, their marine equipment, and their heavy lift cranes on the 3-acre property. They also want to report that their company was awarded a DoD project in October of 2024 that consists of the repairs to the Apple Harbor glass breakwater, and it requires large volumes of ready-mix concrete. They are subcontracted to provide that concrete. They also plan to sublease 3.5 acres of property to Black Construction, which requires prior written consent from the commission for subleasing and to allow for heavy industrial M2 permit zoning. The written consent will be initiated and submitted soon. They said the reason for subleasing of the property to Black Construction is that they are to produce concrete tetrapods that will be placed at the glass breakwater site for wave protection. Tetrapods are 50-ton, 4-legged concrete blocks used to prevent erosion and to reinforce coastal structures such as seawalls and breakwaters. Moving on down to lot 10155-1 Farmers Co-op. They were able to pay off their CY 2023 annual lease payment of $5,570.41, and that payment was remitted on January 2nd, 2025. They're due for the CY 2024 May 2025 annual payment, and pending their submission for their financial statements to determine that annual lease payment that's due. For their FCAG rep, they stated that they're preparing a statement and they will do their best to submit by the end of the month of February. Keys on property, the Guam Environmental Protection Agency were pleased to announce, or rather, their monthly rent is $8,000 with their outstanding balance of $8,000. Their last payment was received on December 4th, 2024. We're pleased to announce that we received their lump sum payment of the amount of $320 via direct deposit on October 15, 2024. And this clears their outstanding arrears from January 2019 to September 2024. Another good thing is their GIPA rep Serena requested a signed acknowledgement from GITA that was signed on November 19, 2024 for 2 purchase orders totaling $88,000 for the advanced processing of rental payments of 11 months. Those POs are currently being processed to cover the rental payments for November 2024 to September 2025. Moving on down to Public Health WIC. Their monthly rent of $8,400, outstanding balance of $0. Their lump sum payment of $16,800 and $4,200 received on January 17 and January 21, 2025. And this payment clears all their outstanding balance of $20,699.35. Other items on the list is the F12 Polaris mitigation plan. Smithbridge indicates that their clearing and grading permit has been approved around the midweek of January 2025. An ongoing clearing of property and their update will be provided once completed. Smithbridge also indicates that they will encase all contaminants, and that's dependent upon GIPA's approval, and then not charge GALC via their rent offsets. The last one in the list is the GALC owned lots of season property, lot 5175 and lot 5182 that comprises of 3 lots. The RFP 24-008 was issued on August 2nd, 2024. However, there were no proposals that were received by RFP deadline on August 23rd. And this concludes my report. Should there be any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Just Masi, Tony. Questions? No questions? We can move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Comments?
Yep, questions or comments?
Okay, Mr. Chair. I guess during our last meeting, we did order Gita to send them notices, right? Of pay up or pay out. So I
Exactly.
guess we've got pretty much a
Good
good
response.
response, yes, from GIPA, WIC, and others. So I guess we need to address the AT&T matter. Is that on the agenda
On the
for
agenda.
today?
Yes.
Okay. So
Sir.
good report there, Tony. Thank you for the update on those, and just keep collecting.
All right.
And kudos to Gita for a good job. Sujas Masi.
Yeah, my apologies.
Oh,
My earphones didn't properly. So
Yeah, one last thing, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Vice
And
Chair.
we requested again on the last meeting, the reporting with regards to the balance, the numbers. What's the amount that we have in our land bank as a result of these leases? What do we, I got a number there, Tony?
but I'm sorry, Vice Chair, the total balance on the land bank trust's account,
Approximately, yeah.
I would have to get
Mr.
back.
Vice Chair? Yeah, that's, we maintain the account balances, but we
Yeah.
can't get, the up-to-date balances until we sign all those documents that was just approved on Tuesday.
Okay,
Yeah, so we can get the most current. So unfortunately, they won't even entertain me, at the banks. So as soon as we sign all the documents and then I can bring it to the bank and then I will be able to provide, our account balances by next,
Meeting.
meeting. Yes, sir.
okay, very well. There you go. That's what I wanted to know. Okay.
How many signatures are missing? Kat?
All of you.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we gotta
tomorrow.
go and everybody and sign that.
Yeah,
We'll be
I'll get
there on
the
Friday.
Tony,
Okay.
tomorrow.
Tony,
Esta.
yeah.
Yeah, I also wanted to point it out to the commission, as of October 2024, AT&T has been making payments of $34,000. And so we're just holding that payment all the way up to present. They're currently up to date with their payment. And I guess the question that I have is, would you want us to remit that payment that we currently hold of 34? Because the regular payment is 22,939, but the whole deal is here. Do you want us to wait for the month-to-month lease agreement to be signed?
Yes,
and then...
I think you should wait for the new you should wait. Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I think we're gonna clear that very shortly.
Yeah,
Okay,
one final comment, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Yeah,
Question?
Mr. Tony, I thought we were hearing a different name under Northern Marketing. Is it still that name under Northern Marketing?
Yes, it is, Mr. Vice Chair. Yes, it is.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
I
and
have
before
one question.
I'm sorry, whose hands are up?
Commissioner Camacho.
Okay, Commissioner Camacho.
It's been a while, since I've seen Gita's report, but I'm just wondering, Still. There's still, an outstanding, I know that at one time we had made a payment arrangement. But are they keeping up to, their commitment? Because this number is still quite large. And I don't see a payment for the month of January.
Yes, Commissioner Camacho. He's like a month behind. He usually pays at the end of the month, but he's been keeping up with his payment proposal, ma'am, with just a month behind. Yeah, so he's been
He's
okay.
been keeping up with the agreement so far.
Yes, he has been. Yes. I just want to report to the commission that he's going through some medical issues right now. Yeah, but he still manages to keep up with the payments.
Thank you for the update.
Okay, before we move to the next item, Gita, did you happen to hear the on the director's report regarding the excess lands concerns we have?
The return.
The return, the excess lands issue? And this is
Lower.
pertaining to the former speaker's address to me, practically directly to me, regarding the enabling legislation that requires us to get a period, I guess it's an annual report of the excess lands. So that she's saying it's for us to request it directly from the land management director, but I'm thinking you guys might have some input with that. You wanna get back to us on that?
Sure, we can draft a report for you.
Okay.
'Cause at this moment, we don't have any updates, so we can draft
Okay.
a report for the annual 2024.
Okay. So just Masi.
You're welcome.
Any further questions for Guido? Okay, Tony, thank you for your report. Now we move down to where are we at here? 1 second. Move down to item 6, old business, Northern Market update. A Northern Market update, old business.
Well, I do have Miss Jennifer Calvo from Northern Market on the call as well. The second amendment was sent and it was signed by Northern Market and turned in. But unfortunately, at the time we have, and to this day, we still have not received it back signed from GALC. So Jennifer, if you want to go on, if there has been any updates to it other than the request that once it is signed, then it would kick in for the next 6 months as outlined in the original second amendment.
Correct. Yes. Thank you, Mary. And good afternoon, commissioners. As Tony mentioned in his report, we are still waiting for the signature on the second amendment to the lease, which we had discussed at length in several meetings of the commission, which we finally negotiated the final terms, which involved the deferral of the rental payments during a 3-year construction period. The issue that we encountered is that the amendment was approved at a meeting of the commission on June 12th. On July 5th, we finalized the amendment, which was reviewed by legal counsel for GALC, and signed the amendment and sent it over for counter signature. On August 8th, we did receive some requested revisions from the commission. I made those and then turned around the document again to Ancestral Lands. Let me see, on November 14th, again, after no activity between August and then November 14th, we did receive a request from the commission requesting that the amendment be revised to reflect that Anita Orlino was elected as the new secretary for the commission. And then on November 19th, a few days thereafter, we made the revisions and sent it back. I did send a letter on November 25th to the commission just because we had not received the amendment signed. And as you may recall, there was a December 31st control date in the document, which said that if Northern Market did not proceed and secure the permit necessary for construction to commence construction on the project, that the lease would terminate, and that all plans and records we had regarding the infrastructure improvements for the property would be turned over to the commission. So in anticipation of that impending deadline, I did ask for I sent the letter asking for some reconsideration of that timeline, since it was really, even though December 31st was a fixed date, what was contemplated at the June meeting, I think, was 3 months to secure the permit and then an additional 3 months to just have that processed. And that was a 6 months period. But because we encountered the issue of the delay with, I believe, the approval of the commissioners whose terms had expired, and then, of course, the election of new officers, I had asked for, I guess, that the amendment be revised to reflect kind of the real timeline, and that everything be triggered by the execution of the amendment. Just for the commission's information, we did secure all of the clearances that were required to get the permit. However, there was a payment of $170,000 that's required in order to secure the payment. And of course, we did not want to proceed with making a sizable payment like that until we had the amendment in place. So currently, as Tony indicated in his report, we would just like to request that the 6 month period in the proposed amendment be reflected to run from the date of execution rather than tied to the December 31st date, which of course is now rendered moot because that date has passed.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Calvo. Do we have any questions regarding the events that took place after our June approval of the amendment to the lease?
A question.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Cruz.
I did pose the question that time to our legal counsel. I did ask him, I said, if pending the signatures, would it impede the progress, you know, on that plan for to go ahead and continue pending signatures? So if I recall, he said, Mr. Attorney Miller said it shouldn't be a problem. So now there is the problem. Is that correct now?
You're referring to there. He was saying there shouldn't be a problem to what was
Because we did have a problem getting, you know, signatures, and then we had the turnovers in the Board of Commissioners. So before that happened, because I already foresee that we may have some commissioners inactive. So I asked the AG, Mr. Miller, if it's going to impede the progress of this lease agreement and proceeding with the understood terms and conditions per the meeting.
Well, legal counsel, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll try. I'll just give my take on it real quick. I think when we were still legit, and at the time that, you know, I was before my term expired, and the proper signatures needed to sign the lease agreement before that expired. I believe he was saying it's still good. It won't be a problem.
It won't be a problem, yes.
But yeah, but the time we was ready, my term expired, and I could not.
Okay.
I cannot
So
sign
now
that.
saying, yes, it's really a problem. Okay.
Yeah, so I couldn't sign it then. But if before my term expired, he's saying there would be no issues if I signed it. But beyond our control, my term expired. Is that
Mr.
correct?
Chairman, the only other thing I would add to that is the good news here is that Ms. Calvo and her colleagues have pressed forward and report that the building permits are ready to issue as soon as somebody writes a big check. I hope and assume that over the past several months they have continued identifying potential tenants and are making forward progress there. And so that, once we get, today, tomorrow, the next day, as we get these bureaucratic issues squared away and behind us, we'll be able to see, just sort of fast progress in the Northern Markets project becoming real and starting to come out of the ground.
Okay, that answer your question, Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Okay. Any further questions? Commissioner Weston.
Hi. In June, when the then board, I guess, voted to grant the extension, my term had already expired, and so I was not part of that decision. So they were supposed to have everything done and ready to go by December 31st, my understanding. But because of commissioners' terms expiring, that we weren't able to actually sign the amendment. So now they're asking for another 6-month extension in order to fulfill the terms that was approved by the board at that time in June, correct? And is there supposed to be some substantial monetary payment that was supposed to have been made before December 31st or by December 31st?
No.
what's the 171,000 that somebody just mentioned earlier? I thought I heard something to that.
That was from our legal counsel?
That's the fee for the permit, the building permit. We obtained all the necessary clearances.
I
however-
understand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So it's actually, I think, 140,000 and then 30,000 for GWA. So a total of 170.
Oh, okay, okay, those were government fees.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members, it seems perhaps appropriate at this point to just sort of clarify that really what the extension agreement that's before you today, and that needs to be signed, what it really does is simply create a date certain by which the commission expects to get a go or no go decision from the Northern Markets team, whether they're going to press forward with the project for a number of months, multiple months. I think it's fair to say it was wait and see whether in fact our developer, our lessee, really wanted to move forward with the project. Again, the good news here is, that they have been continuing to make forward progress. They have been spending money, getting the project ready for permitting. And I think, as I said, the good news here is that as soon as we get this extension signed and the bureaucratic issues behind us, we can all expect to see, quick progress in the development moving forward. And I will be bold and speak for Ms. Calvo and say that if she's going to spend $170,000 on permits, she's darn well sure going to try and make this project go.
You're correct.
Very well. Okay. Mr. Chairman? Are we having audio?
I think we lost the chairman.
Yeah, I think we lost the chairman.
Yeah. So it only requires signatures now.
Pending. Well, there is a slight modification, and I'll let AG Miller explain a little further, but we're really not asking for an extension request per se. It's just that the form of the amendment that was drafted, approved by legal counsel, and then circulated for signature had a date of December 31st, which was intended to be 6 months from the date that the commission approved this deal. But of course, because that date has come and gone, we would just like to, keep all of the substance of the amendment as approved by the commission previously. It's just, I think in section 5, rather than have December 31st, 2024, just include language that says 6 months from the execution of the second amendment. Therefore, we're dealing with a realistic timeline, and there's no confusion about the performance deadline. And I'll leave it to AG Miller to advise on that.
Yeah, so Mr. Vice Chair, members, what we will need today is a motion to authorize the chairman and the secretary to execute the revised agreement that reflects that the agreement gives our lessee 6 months from the date of execution to formally decide whether they, intend to move forward with the project, or that the land would just, the lease would become null, and the land would simply revert back to the commission.
Okay. So, in the absence of,
and a second to that effect.
okay, is there within the absence of the chairman, I think I could carry on. Is there a motion to execute the authority for the the agreement, the amendment of the agreement? Well, we're having audio, right? Audio problems.
Yeah, and I think we also lost Commissioner Westling.
Okay, we still have 1, 2, 3.
4. There's still 4 of you.
Commissioner Lino, there you are. Okay. So is there a motion to move forward on the matter? You're on mute, Commissioner Lino.
Okay, it's back.
Yeah, you're back on.
Okay.
So did you move? Did you make a motion?
Did I make a motion?
Yeah, there's a matter on the floor requesting shall we take action on this, and we need a motion on the matter. You're back on mute again.
I don't know what's happening. Okay. The motion would be to proceed with the approval of the second amendment with Northern Market.
Correct.
Okay.
So is that your motion?
Okay, that's the motion.
Okay, is there a second on the motion? I don't, Commissioner Camacho, you're on mute. You're still on mute.
I'm sorry,
Okay, there.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Mr. Vice Chair. Louisa Westing's trying to log back on. She lost connection. Can somebody doing maybe Andy see if she needs to be added back to the meeting? Sorry.
It seems like she lost the server probably from her side.
But she's trying to get back on.
That goes the same for chairman.
So she just called me and said that she's trying to log back on, but
Yeah, I can't.
she
I don't know if it's here because I'm saying I have no internet.
on her side it says she has no internet.
That's the same thing the chairman just told me. His internet went dead.
So she's on the other line with me, trying to get back on.
Will she be able to log on from her phone?
She's trying to. Oh, Louisa, try it. Sorry.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that was Commissioner Westling that just called me, indicating that she was lost connection. She's trying to get online, but she's having difficulty. So can anybody assist on there? Allow her to join in the meeting? Andy or Joey?
That would be on her internet server.
But she doesn't have one on right now.
Can she hook up from her phone?
Let me ask her.
I'm calling her too, Vice Chair.
Yeah. Let me call also our chairman. We're
Yeah,
being,
he's offline also.
Yeah, so they don't have.
let me call him.
She's trying to log on her phone.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I think she's on. Yes, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
I'm so
You're on your
sorry.
phone?
I'm on my phone. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
I lost internet connection on my desktop, so sorry about that. That was about 3 o'clock.
Yes, okay. Also, Chairman. He lost connection also.
Oh, okay.
Is everybody still on board?
Yes.
Yeah, according to our chairman, he also is incurring internet problems. He just shut down. Oh, there's
Okay.
Commissioner Westling.
Yeah,
Wrestling is
sorry.
on.
Here we go.
She's on her phone.
I'm on my phone.
Okay. So to update you, Commissioner Westling, there was a motion to continue the authorize the amendment with the 6-month agreement where we left off with the date, basically the date within 6 months because of the December 31st deadline. And there was a motion, and we're waiting for anyone to second it with the Northern Marketing matter.
Okay, thank you. Okay, second, I just.
So is there? We'll call it again. I'm sitting in for the chairman because he's currently unable to log in. So, is there a second on this motion? That way we can get into the discussion.
And Mr. Chairman, I would point out if there is no second to the motion dies. And we have to come up with a whole new plan.
That's right.
Ms. Calvo isn't going to spend her money, and we have to come up with a whole new plan for what we're going to do here.
Yeah.
I'll second the motion.
There you go. So it was seconded by Commissioner Camacho. Now we can move into discussion. I think, is there any discussion on the floor before I comment?
Yes, to make sure that we understand when is the deadline now, so 6 months and what 6 months from now is when, just for the record.
December 31st.
No.
I believe it'll be 6 months from the date of execution. So the date that we sign, the date that yourself and the chairman signs the agreement, it'll be 6 months from that date.
After that, okay.
Yes.
It'll be a date early in July of 2025.
Yes.
Ms. Calvo?
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily that you need the entire 6 months, does that?
That's correct. It's just, I mean, it's been our experiencing with permitting sometimes that, the things take longer than they should, even though we did get the clearances. Of course, that's been tabled. I think we did that probably in September, everything was complete.
Correct.
So just a matter of kind of going back to the agencies and making sure that everything's clear and then processing the payment. Our only request is just because, as I mentioned, the December 31st date, I mean, what was contemplated is no longer possible because of the passage of time. So we just want to ask for, I mean, that's the maximum, the 6 months is the maximum period. If we get the extension, I could finalize the revised amendment, send it to AG Miller by tomorrow. And hopefully we get, if it's fine with him, I could sign and notarize and then send it to the commission for counter signature and notary. And then we should be, then the clock will start ticking and we can update the commission as soon as we're able to actually secure the permit, which under the agreement, we have 3 months to do.
Okay, very good. Any other comment, any other discussion? There, we also lost again Commissioner Wesley. So we still have we have enough votes, I believe, right? Yes. Is there any further discussion? If not, let's call for the vote then. So I'll, pardon me? I'm hearing some echo.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was me. Louisa's gonna try, but she's having difficulty with it. So I think we should just proceed.
Okay. So let's shall we go down individually? Okay, Commissioner Camacho?
Let's just call for the vote.
Yes, okay. If all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hand, aye. Okay, all approve. Any nays? I don't see any. Okay, motion approved. Okay, very well. Let's move forward now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. I will revise the amendment, send it to Gita and to Attorney Miller by tomorrow, and then we'll move forward from there.
Thank you, Mrs. Calvo.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, next line item on the agenda. Kathy, can you please?
AT&T update, sir.
Okay, all right. Let's bring up. We have a report from I see Mr. Jackson here. Any advisement on the matter before he proceeds? Shall we bring him up directly to discuss the matter, or there you go.
There's
I see Diego. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Diego.
Half a day, sir. Just as a synopsis update, the AT&T lease went before the previous legislature, the 37th, for approval. It had passed the legislature, but was subsequently vetoed. The legislature attempted to do an override, but ran out of time last year. So because of that, we have Gita along with AT&T as well as legal counsel had worked together on at least a month-to-month to preserve the ability of the commission to continue receiving revenues for the property while we work on next steps. And so with this month-to-month, it will be the commission authorizing AT&T to remain and still operate on the property, as well as pay a higher lease rate payment that they have agreed to, while we move to do two things. Is number one is to get an appraiser to appraise the property, as well as to explore next steps, be it RFP or work out another lease that we will then take to the legislature for anything longer than 5 years. So in the interim, what we're hoping is that the commission will approve this month-to-month, so that while we, and the commission has experienced this, that it takes some considerable time to do the full process. I had advised the speaker at the time that this process, the full RFP process starting from the beginning, does take some time. And so at the very least, Gita wanted to preserve continuing income stream, from anyone still being on the property, which is AT&T. So this proposal is to authorize their continued use of month to month until we as the commission and Gita work together to work out the next steps, which would be either a new lease that we'll present to the legislature or an RFP. So that is our request at this time.
May I ask a question from legal counsel?
Go ahead. Commissioner Camacho.
Being that we've already issued the 5-year lease, can we do this? Because it will exceed the 5 years, even if it's 5 years and 1 month. Legally, can we do this?
Mr. Chairman, members, excellent question. I have been asked that very same question by members of the legislature who I will note are of the mind that the correct answer is no. At the same time, they are mindful of that it's probably in the best interests of Ancestral Lands to continue the revenue stream from AT&T. This is a very unique property. Not to say never will there be another user for the property, but it'll, as Gita notes, it'll take some time to sort of re-envision what might happen with the property if we don't move forward with AT&T. And so the advice I will provide, which is essentially the opinions that have been shared with me by members of the legislature, is, well, okay, you probably should move along with AT&T, but we really hope that in the very near future, we see a long-term proposal from Ancestral Lands for something, and they fully expect something is a longer-term deal with AT&T, but they're expecting something soon, and not something, they're not going to just let us coast on this month-to-month lease for, a year or 2 or 3.
Okay.
Did we get this in writing though from the AG? I think that my biggest concern is breaking the law.
Sure. I mean, feel free to ask. That will take some amount of time for us to just sort of process through our agency, a formal written opinion. I guess my advice to you all is, I don't know how long it's going to take to find this appraiser and for that appraiser to do their work. It's a very specialized piece of property, and Guam is a long way from the places where there are lots and lots and lots of appraisers you could just call up and say, jump on this project tomorrow. So I guess by all means, if it's important, ask for formal written advice. At the same time, my advice to you all is to me, the most important thing would be to get a sense of how soon is this appraiser going to be hired, and how much time do we think we reasonably need to give that appraiser? Because if it's a couple of months, you probably have one opinion. If it's 1.5 years, you might have another opinion.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but we just lost Commissioner Laguarnia, so we are down to 2.
Also, Commissioner Cruz.
Commissioner Cruz. We are down to 2 commissioners. We lost Commissioner Cruz, Laguarnia, Westling, and the chairman.
Well, Kathy, my suggestion is, it's probably prudent to just sort of, because you get this, you see the big screen there, decide how much time we ought to give to see if folks can log back in and jump back on before we decide that, technical difficulties mean this meeting is over.
Mrs. Westling is back on. She just logged on.
Let me try and get a hold of Commissioner Laguarnia. Commissioner Cruz just informed me that she's having internet problems also.
The chairman messaged that it's just GTA entirely out. Internet and phone. Internet and phone.
Yeah, that's what he said. Attorney Miller,
Yes, ma'am.
if we adjourn this meeting, we still have three members.
Could we
We need one more.
recess?
Yeah,
Instead of
can we
adjourn? Could we
recess?
recess?
Yeah, just, no.
I think I guess we would default to the secretary being the boss of the meeting, and for lack of a quorum, the secretary can recess the meeting to someday next week when we can pick this up again. And the difference, if we adjourn, we have to go through all the notice
Right.
Yes.
rules and post the ads and all that kind of good stuff.
Correct.
If we recess, we just announce a date and time and pick up right where we left off without any more paperwork.
Okay, so I would suggest that we recess this meeting until such time where we could call another one just to for continuation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, well, there's two others, and we'll go ahead and recess, because if we, like you said, adjourned, right? Then we have to go through the process of publication, so this
Right,
meeting.
we're gonna recess for lack of a quorum to date and time to be announced in the near future.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we going to recess, right?
If that's your decision.
Yes. Yes,
Then-
we're going into recess until the announcement of date and time where we could call this to continue.
Okay, well, then the meeting is over, and I will visit with you all at some point next week.
3:29.
Okay,
Yes.
3:29, we recess, okay. Now this meeting is in recess.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Okay, Joey, so what, oh. Multiple speakers? Mine is saying multiple speakers. I think it's gonna go off. Right?
AT&T is gonna say we should have you should have renewed their lease.
What?
GTA got hacked.
I know. But can we okay.
So I guess that's it.
Yeah, we just
we should have chosen the date and time before we logged off. But
we cannot because the others are not here, right? Because there's only two of us.
Yeah.
We need 4. Right, Joey? Oh, where are you? Yeah, we need 4. for administrative, so you know, it's. Where are you?
I'm right here. You still see me?
No, I cannot see you no more.
Uh-oh. But you can hear me.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
I can't see you. He says I cannot move the video because.
Okay, so Andy, I guess you can go ahead and stop the live streaming.
Okay,
And
so
then stop the recording.
there's Commissioner Cruz.
I'm using my phone.